Let's take a few minutes here and talk about the tyranny of the or and the genius of the and. So what does that really mean? Well, this come about, Jim Collins wrote a book about Built to Last. And in that book, he developed that idea. And it's interesting to kind of start looking at that. And in looking through this book, he talks about these successful companies have really focused on the genius of the and. So as an example here, he talked about, think of these various examples. Continuity and change, right? On two different things, not necessarily the or, but can you do the and? Freedom and responsibility. And then discipline and creativity. So when I kind of was preparing for this here, and we've talked a lot about this over the years, and when I think about, so in my free time on the weekends, I coach my son's third and fourth grade tackle football, and so this is the first year most of them are. So we as coaches talk a lot about discipline and each player having a responsibility on the football field, and 11 players out there at a time. So with discipline, we can help them learn their positions and be very good at those positions. But all of them have to have an element of creativity in there. Every play is going to have some variance that you can't predict every play. So they have to have their own creativity. If I said you have to do this rigid, disciplined play every single time this only way, well, what if the offense or defense, whatever we're on playing against, reacts differently? There has to be some level of creativity there, right? We live in such a polarizing world these days where even with like financial markets, when you look at that, when you turn on the news, there's somebody that's always out there, we call them the Perma-Bulls. Somebody, no matter what the market's doing that day, that week, that year, they're saying, the markets are always going to go up in this and this. There's somebody that's always got a very optimistic view on the performance of the markets. And then there's going to be the other side, right? No matter, you turn on the television and the world is falling apart. The markets are crumbling. That person that's always kind of has the pessimistic view of that. Well, does it have to be one way or the other? Maybe, but not necessarily, right? Let's talk about this with your own financial portfolio. A lot of people, especially as they get into retire, struggle with this growth and safety piece. I want to have growth. I've had that my whole life. And they start kind of going through this and they build themselves up with various things. But then they start saying, well, boy, I'm not contributing anymore and I want this money to last. So maybe I need to have some safety in various elements in that. So when you think of this, again, it doesn't have to be the or, maybe it's the and. Maybe there is a little genius in that and. So with your retirement portfolio and your plan that you have encompassed for that or lack of one yet, let's talk through this various things for you and see how we can help you and make sure if there's an and if you can look like a genius in retirement.